Good morning, this is Robin Beaver on Chart Talk on the 29th of April at 6:40 in the morning London time. Yesterday morning, reasonably early, the crudes had slid and hit their targets lower and held them. These targets were on WTI to 10.26 and on July Brent to 22.05. At the same time, RBOB was flexing its muscles and pushing higher. It assaulted its short-term moving averages, moved over them and ran into trouble at its 34-day moving average to close over the 5 and 8s but below the 13 and 34, but still challenging the recent downtrend. The rest rallied at the same time but did not move over their 5-day moving averages, which are critical resistance. This morning, RBOB is over the key 13 and 21-day moving average support at 71, 79 to 63, a key support that is must watch today, and the rest are challenging their 5-day moving averages. Now, if we look at June WTI, here we have the holding of the 10.26 level. That was the target. Below 10.26 and this contract's in serious trouble, but it's nowhere near there at the moment. It's printing 13.74 with the 5-day moving average at 14.46, this red line here. The 8-day moving average is fast descending and is close to the 5-day, and it is at around 14.80 area today. This is going to be a trouble zone for WTI, the 14.46 to 14.80 area. If it can move and close over the 8-day moving average, it's got some upside on a slingshot, likely up towards the 13-day around 19.50 area. In other words, if WTI can safely navigate the 5 and 8-day moving averages, and they have been serious trouble for the last 2 weeks, then there's some upside. The downtrend is only challenged if WTI, amongst others, but WTI for this case, can move over its 5 and 8-day moving averages. These are significant resistances, so be careful. Were the WTI to move and close below 11.88, the bull-bear pivot, it's in trouble and it's going to go and have another sniff of 10.26, or most likely will. So the message here on June WTI, July Brent and June heat is watch the 5-day moving averages. And we'll move on to Brent. Here's Brent. It's already for the last 5 days, it's been putting its 5-day moving average gently under pressure and failed each time. The 5-day comes in today around 23.79, and if it moves over there, there's a reasonable chance of a slingshot move up to the 8-day at 24.37. The downtrend is intact whilst below the 8-day, and the momentum lower is intact whilst below the 5-day. However, it too has hit its target at 22.05. There are no targets lower at the moment. Were it to move below the bull-bear pivot at 22.86, not that far away from current action, it would make another test of 22.05 likely. Upside would only be green lighted on one being over the 5-day moving average at 23.79 area and then taking out the 8-day at 24.40 area. It's got some upside, but it's not going to be realized whilst below the 5 and 8-day moving averages. These really are very powerful resistances, and look how they've kept the action for the last 3 weeks totally in check. No rallies have made much progress against the 5 and 8s. June heat has held the important 70.84 level. It's just above there at 71.67 now, and it's tested and failed so far at its 5-day moving average around 73.25. It's got to move and close over the 5-day to have any upside whatsoever, and that may be a big ask for it, and that upside would only take it up to the 8-day moving average at 76.48. Only a close over the 8-day would suggest a turn of the trend and a move back higher to the 13-day moving average, a long way higher at 84.95. Meanwhile, the first big challenge is the 5-day moving average at 73.26 area. Watch it carefully on any rally. Now, June RBOB is likely to dominate proceedings. It failed at the 34-day moving averages brown line yesterday. It is now above the key 13 and 21-day moving averages at 71, 79, 63. This is the most important pivot on the board. Whilst above there, the market is in correction higher mode. If RBOB slides below 71.79.63 area, the recovery is faltering. If it then closed below the 5-day moving average at 70.38, serious questions would be asked of this correction, and the odds are on lower numbers. At the moment, though, it's poked its nose above the key short-term moving averages and is in correction mode that could take it up to 77.98. This area between 77.98 and 82.72, albeit I know a wide area, this is a danger zone for it where it may find it far too challenging. However, if it slips back below 71.79 to 63, this recovery is being seriously questioned. But if it was to slide below the 5-day at 70.38, then I think you're going to see lower numbers. Watch RBOB very, very carefully at its 13 and 21-day moving average support at 71.79.63, and watch what goes on with the rest of their 5-day moving averages. Now, GASOG, the right-hand chart, it's got the 5-day at 202 area. There's no real upside unless it can get above that, which may be a big ask for it. Meanwhile, it's held its target zone at 188.25 and no downside unless below there. The message is very clear on the outright at the moment. Watch the 5-day moving averages on the crude and heat very carefully, and watch RBOB at 71.79.63. We're at the moment having a correction higher. This correction does not turn into anything more sinister, i.e. positive, unless we're over the 5s on the crudes and heat. And in order for the downtrend to be seriously challenged, we need to be above the 8-day moving averages. In other words, the contracts have got a lot more work to do. Now, if we just look at some long back-end structure, DEC Red DEC, WTI, struggling a little bit, failed at its 5-day yesterday. The 5-day is still serious resistance above the market at minus 551. Only a close below minus 599 would give us targets lower. But the DEC Reds are struggling, and they often give good early warning signals. And on Brent, it's below the 5-day moving average and key resistance at 589 to 586, but it's above minus 671, and only a move and close below 671 would give it more downside potential. But the DEC Reds are struggling a bit, and this may well be a prescient early warning signal for what the rest are likely to do. The 60-minute chart on Brent, the right-hand chart here, is struggling. It looks like the overnight rally is being questioned seriously. The 5-day moving average, which on Brent is around 23.79, i.e. up here towards the highs, is looking at the moment to be a big ask for this market to try and close over. And RBOB 60-minute chart is equally unsteady. It looks like it's faltering, and I suspect it's going to head lower over the next few hours. Watch RBOB and the crudes very carefully today, particularly RBOB. It's going to give some useful signals. That's all for today, folks. Good luck, good trading, and bon appetit.